All right, y'all, welcome to another video. So we're going to be throwing on the KS tuned cam trigger kit and ultimately this valve cover. You know, this valve cover has been through several blown up engines, as well as not having these baffles ever removed. Now baffles, you know, in a stock engine, those baffles are there so that this breather and this breather don't get oil splashed up, because this one, I believe, goes to the intake. So one of these goes to like the back, they both go back into the intake basically. So this baffle is there so that oil doesn't splash up and out those holes, right? All right, take a break from the time lapse real quick. So right now you can see I got half of the baffle up, and you can freaking see how disgusting it is under there. And like there's like a crevice in there, and like, so clean finger. And all of that, if I wouldn't have done this, would be cycling through my $13,000 engine. So this is a very crucial step, like I said. Look at this whole area. I mean, there's literally no way that you could ever clean that. So got this thing all cleaned up, every nook and cranny. Alrighty, so the time has come to change these out. So I'm gonna take off the valve cover, the crank pulley, the timing covers, take off, show you a little bit better video here. So, you know, I don't have a distributor anymore, so I have to take off this one, which will allow me to access just this cap, in which case this will just pop off with these two bolts after I remove these, and then I'll put this cam cap in it, and then these cam gears because of the magnets, and the valve cover, which I have chilling. I'm not gonna film this whole process because, to be honest, I've never done this before, like timed an engine and done all the things, so I just need full concentration. Damn, so this is the first time I cracked the valve cover, and oh my goodness. I mean, just look at that. Skunk 2 Pro cams. Look at that lobe. They're actually pretty fucking big, because usually the VTEC lobe is a lot bigger. So she's got some lobe on her. All right, so what I gotta do now is just make sure this thing is at top dead center. And then once that's the case, lock everything, and then remove these, remove the timing cover and all that good stuff. So here we go. All right, got all the timing covers off, got the pulley off. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I'm kind of shitting myself because I've never delved into a motor, especially not the most expensive one I've ever owned. So next thing what I'm gonna do is remove the timing belt tensioner, loosen the timing belt. Everything's at top dead center right now. So top dead center, markings, and that bad boy is aligned with that marking. So alrighty, so I don't have any room over here to take this cam gear off, so I had to literally take the cams off. Got the covers and everything. I'm about to put them on, torque it all down. I got everything kind of back on. I'm gonna make sure that everything, you know, this is all top dead center, so this mark is centered, and then this mark is centered, as well as that mark. And then I got the KS tuned Hall sensor trigger. Boom. Got the H22 cam gear holder. Got these all torqued. Got the cam plug in there. She's coming along. Alrighty, new day. So what I have here is off of the wastegate, I just have a straight. I did cut it at a bend, but what I'm gonna have to do here is basically cut it with the slope of the roof, or the hood, I should say. Same thing with this. So I had two 90s that are kind of like this one, but this one I kind of chopped it up. So I went from this outside point to the middle of this point, and from that outside point to the middle, cut that section out and then shortened this part so it's tighter. Without doing that, this would have been like over here. So I'm just gonna have it. It's kind of janky. I mean, you can kind of see in there. Like, I still have to clean it up and everything, but you know, this isn't pressurized or anything. This is just a quick little up pipe, so it's not gonna be the biggest of deal. And then I'll put the O2 sensor, or the wideband sensor, over here, kind of maybe like right here, like over here, right there. And then I'm just gonna get a pipe that goes up, and then, like I said, both of these are gonna be straight up, and then just cut them at the hood line. I still have to put the hood on and see if that even clears, because it's pretty low. I mean, that's the radiator support, and that motherfucker's way above that, so I'm gonna throw that on and see what that looks like. All right, got the exhaust pipes all kind of mocked up. Just kind of want to point out how to set this up for a welder. I got all the joints marked. I got them all nice and tight. There's a little bit of a shitty part right here that I'll point out to the welder. You know, got all the edges beveled, and I mean, it's ready to go. So just talked to the guy, $150 to weld it all up, and here we go. The air gap between the sensor and the magnet should be 0.35 to 0.60. So there's my feeler gauge. Gonna go in here. And that passes through. The T1 cam trigger. This thing will focus. T1 cam sensor, tested by Injector Dynamics on April 29th of last year. Brand new kit. So, got that all installed. Got the alternator bracket painted, installed. I just gotta wait for downstar bolts like that to go in there instead of the ugly ones. Once that's all done, I'll tighten the belt, make sure that's all good. Make sure these are all tucked away. I'll probably zip tie them right there, and then put some heat wrap on them. Alrighty, so per Jamie Marsh, NGK 2669s with a 15 thousandths gap. You'll see here, if you take this, it's gonna be able to pass through there really easily. So trust me, it does. And let me just put these in there. I wanted to throw these in now just so there's not a bunch of dust getting into the cylinder. Always don't forget to put a little bit of NCCs, just a tad bit, just so that these threads, just there's no issues. Tad bit, a little tiny bit.
He was like the first Twitter. It was! One, and it was T.I.'s wife, Tiny.
So getting rid of all these fittings and these hoses with hose clamps, we're going to AM lines. So all the little hoses will be that. So I'm gonna put, let's see, a 90 a straight here, 90 straight, just how it was. Bottom to the bottom of the wastegate, top to the top. All right, so plugged up those two holes and that hole. Those were a different thread pitch than the 1/8 inch NPT, so I just got to go get a couple plugs for the water ports since I'm not going to be cooling this with water. I got the AN lens kind of configured, so as it sits there and there, it'll be pointed back. And then just a little bit of heat sleeve over that. A little bit of heat sleeve over that. And that is a dope ass setup that won't leak to my Mac 4 port. And then from there, I'll have a solid line to a little vacuum block right there. The vacuum block will have barb fittings to this bad boy or that bad boy. And then I'm gonna block off all the other vacuum ports so it cleans it up. So we got the exhaust. Just got some downstar bolts all throughout. And I got the, I actually recut this. I didn't do the circles because what I want to do, I mean, for tuning, I want to be able to access this, you know, so that they can put this in and out as easily as possible. Access to the crank, you know, access to all the bolts. That way, if they need to make an adjustment, we can. Got all the vacuum lines steel braided. Tomorrow I'm gonna get my little vacuum block so that I can connect that and then the end of this to that and have all the vacuum good. Got the fuel pressure regulator source to a vacuum. I got to take this boost line out because it has, as you can see there. So basically all that's left is the pinning of the injectors so that I can run the wire harness and just plug everything in, which is super easy. I'm gonna clean out the hoses tomorrow for my catch can setup from those two to these two, all the way over here. After that, fluids, so oil, fluid in the transmission. I'm gonna go get blue coolant for this. And that's it. I mean, it's pretty much done. When I go to the tuner, I'm gonna have him retime it. I gotta have him pin in the injector clips because ignition coils instead of distributor setups. I'm gonna call the video right here. Thanks for watching. The next video is gonna be pretty much me like scheduling the tune, driving out there and doing the tune. Might be a couple days, but it's gonna be sick. Stay tuned.